It's nonsense. It's what we've been talking about on this show, Steve, for more than 3 years. It is not illegal for the former president to have his presidential records, classified or not, with him when he leaves office. That is specifically permitted by the Presidential Records Act. It's not illegal for a presidential candidate to challenge a presidential election. If it were illegal, you would see Democrats in prison for challenging Republican wins in 1968, 2000, 2004, and 2016. The only thing that is illegal with all of this is what Jack Smith did when he illegally ignored the FBI, when the FBI told him there was not probable cause to do the Mar-a-Lago raid, and then Jack Smith illegally colluded with various Biden officials to politicize and weaponize the intel agencies and law enforcement to take out President Trump. Remember, this is the same Jack Smith who was sent in to take out former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, and he succeeded in winning a criminal conviction that was overturned 8-0 by the Supreme Court of the United States. It would have been 9-0, but Justice Scalia passed away. It is very hard to get overturned 8-0 by the Supreme Court on anything, let alone a criminal case. But Jack Smith found the way, but he didn't care because the damage was already done. The mission was already accomplished. He took out former Virginia Bob McDonnell as a potential or likely presidential candidate for Republicans. Jack Smith got banished to The Hague because he is such a Scud missile. He's such a clown. And it was Joe Biden and the Biden Justice Department who brought back Jack Smith from The Hague to run this unprecedented Republic-ending lawfare against President Trump. Jack Smith can go testify and say that he had all the evidence and he had all the goods to take down Trump. He didn't. And to the contrary, there is very strong evidence he participated in a blatant criminal conspiracy against rights under 18 U.S.C. Section 241. We have very publicly on this show called for a grand jury down where they did the Mar-a-Lago raid in Fort Pierce, Florida. That grand jury, there's a new grand jury getting impaneled in January. My good friend Jason Redding Quinones is the new Miami U.S. attorney, and I would say to Jack Smith, you better lawyer up, buddy, because if there's anyone on this planet who deserves to get justice, it is Jack Smith.
I just want people to know they're just not going to sit here and agree with us. I mean, today his opening statement was up in your grill, right? Up in your grill, and the media's piled in back of it. The Washington field office for the FBI is a festering nest of vipers that hate Trump, and they said there's no probable cause here. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming about Jack Smith, but I just want people to know this ain't going to be easy. They're not going to go down without a fight here, right? Jack Smith's their guy. He's their boy, right? And Jack Smith came in. He let you know today he threw down. Now, have you heard anything about how the deposition went, or how the investigation or the questioning by under oath by the House Judiciary? Do you have any feel for how that went? Because the opening statement, you could tell he ain't backing off. Now, I heard he was rope-a-doping a lot, but do you have any insights?
Well, I mean, you see what's been publicly reported. This was a closed-door deposition by the House Judiciary Committee, which is what should be done. This should be a methodical investigation. I want to say cheers to House Judiciary Committee Jim Jordan for moving forward with this investigation. Better late than never, but this is crucially important. And of course, Jack Smith has already teamed up with his allies in the media to get out the narrative that Jack Smith wants to get out there. But Jack Smith is not going to be able to run from the fact that he moved forward with this prosecution without probable cause. That it was Jay Bratz, one of Jack Smith's deputies, who ran to U.S. Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhart, who had just recused 6 weeks prior from President Trump's civil lawsuit against Hillary Clinton for Crossfire Hurricane, the Russian collusion hoax. Reinhart recused because of Reinhart's 2017 Facebook post trashing President Trump. So obviously he couldn't be fair if he's trashing President Trump on Facebook. And so Reinhart recused, but somehow that recusal issue magically disappeared 6 weeks later when Jay Bratz, Jack Smith's deputy, went and got an unprecedented, unnecessary, unlawful home raid without probable cause, according to the FBI, to go get presidential records from President Trump that he's allowed to have under the Presidential Records Act. This is the same Jack Smith who illegally spied on U.S. senators and did not notify the Senate of this spying, which is required under federal statute. So Jack Smith has many legal problems he's going to face, and hopefully a criminal indictment in the Southern District of Florida.
Davis, before I get to Fani Willis, you're very close to the most senior levels at the Justice Department over at the FBI. Your thoughts, one, about what's transpiring in Brown, but also Dan Bongino tenders his resignation within the first 10 months. I think Dan got there, I think in February, March. Your thoughts, sir?
I would say cheers to FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino. He's a warrior. He's a friend. He went to the FBI for a short stint to bring much needed, bold, serious reforms to the FBI. He never intended to stay beyond January. He's told me that privately for many, many, many months. He left a lot of money on the table to go do this government service. He's going to go back and play a crucial role on the outside by continuing his conservative media, his podcast, and other media outlets that he runs to make sure that we have more warriors on the outside. This has always been Dan Bongino's plan, and we should thank him for his service.
Mike Davis, you have been absolutely brutal in your treatment of Fani Willis from the very beginning and every day that she was up there. Today, she kind of had to face the music a little bit. It was almost a freak show. I was so blown away by her demeanor and some of her statements. Number one, in the audience who's done this journey with us, Fani Willis said categorically she is the finest, I think, district attorney in the Southeast United States. Mike Davis, your thoughts?
I would say that poor Nathan Wade. Apparently, Nathan Wade had to buy her that fake rabbit fur coat that she wore into the court, to the Georgia Senate hearing today. She went in there. She was defiant. She was telling the Georgia senators that their questions were so-called dumbass, and some other things that Big Fanny was saying. Big Fanny is a train wreck. She's always been a train wreck, and she clearly committed crimes with her bogus prosecutions of President Trump and his aides and his allies related to their lawful objection to the 2020 election, again, which is permitted by the Electoral Count Act of 1887, along with the First Amendment. Big Fanny, she got into big trouble on this prosecution because she hired her dumb, unqualified boyfriend, Nathan Wade, who she defended today. She paid him, it was like $250 an hour, $700,000 in Fulton County funds. She took these lavish trips with her.
Hang on one second. We're going to hold through the break. I know you're the Jack Smith thing, that's malicious, but this guy's an assassin. He was coming to take Trump out and send Trump to prison for many, many decades, or to die in prison. Fani Willis is something different. I mean, she was trying to do the same thing, but here's what it's for the state of Georgia, which Atlanta Airport's one of the most busiest in the world. They got all kind of global corporations down there. Atlanta prides itself as the most powerful city in the South, and it hurts me to say that since I come from Richmond. But this thing is embarrassing. Not only is she malicious, it's a clown show. And you're right. Today, her demeanor, she was sitting there defiant, saying, these are dumbass questions. I mean, what is going to happen? What's your recommendation to Georgia of what needs to happen there, sir?
So Georgia state prosecutors and the feds both need to go on dual tracks and put Big Fanny's fat ass in prison because she politicized and weaponized her office to take out Trump and to take out his supporters for non-crimes. She violated their constitutional rights. She made them go through hell. She made many of them spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on attorneys. She dragged this out for years. Big Fannie Willis was corrupt. She hired her dumb, unqualified boyfriend, Nathan Wade, paid him $700,000, took illegal kickbacks in the form of these lavish trips to Belize, the Caribbean. She's a Grey Goose girl, Big Fannie told us. She said that she went Dutch and her boyfriend, Nathan Wade, she paid him back cash that she learned from her Black Panther father because she kept cash in her mattress, but she couldn't explain how she replenished that cash to keep that cash around her house.
Remember, always $10,000. It was one of the most illuminating parts of her testimony. Her father said, always keep $10,000 in cash. Said like a true pirate, always keep $10,000 in cash in the mattress. You never know in the middle of the night when you're going to need it.
I mean, Big Fannie is a disgrace. And it is shameful that her big ass is walking around on the streets right now. These Georgia prosecutors should indict today. The federal prosecutors should indict today. She committed perjury. She obstructed justice. She lied. She committed fraud. She conspired. What the hell are these prosecutors doing in Georgia, both state and federal, to let this big tub of lard walk around and be defiant like she is today? Put her fat ass in prison.
Mike, tonight, you're a son of Iowa, and you had two of your best came home today to Dover en route to Iowa, two of our bravest National Guard from the Iowa National Guard. What would you like to hear, and what do you think it's necessary for the nation to hear from the President of the United States tonight, sir?
Yeah, first of all, I send my condolences to my fellow Iowans on these fallen service members, to their families. It's tragic, but something that we need to remember, and we're seeing this all over our country, we're seeing this all over the world. We are at war with these Islamists. They are trying to destroy the West. They're trying to destroy our way of life. We need to get Islamists the hell out of the West, out of Europe, out of the United States, ASAP. This is not a war that we started. This is a war that's been brought to our soil, and we need to treat it like a war. We need to get Islamists the hell out of America, the hell out of the West, and we need to make sure that these judges get the hell out of our way when we do it.
Mike Davis, where do people go to get the Viceroy, sir? Social media and Article 3.
Article3project.org, article number 3project.org. You can follow us on social media, donate, but only what you can afford. But again, the War Room Posse's superpower is action, action, action. And Merry Christmas to the Posse. Happy holidays. And thank you for everything the Posse does.
Thank you, Mike Davis, one of our leaders, the Viceroy.